It is the scope in Norfolk, Virginia. It's the nightcap of this year's MEAC basketball championship. Coppin State, the number 7 seed, take on the Bison of Howard University. They come in as the number 2 seed, and when you check out the brackets and how these teams are doing and how they got here, we've already seen Norfolk State come out of victory with a victory over Delaware State, 74-66. They'll play the Morgan State winner against South Carolina State on Friday. So the winner here, that's Coppin and Howard, will play the winner of Maryland Eastern Shore and North Carolina Central. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Cy Alexander. Glad you could stay with us and join us for our nightcap here. North Carolina not in the team right now, but we're talking about Howard University. We're talking about Coppin State. Twice during the regular season, it was Coppin State. And the tip is won by the Eagles of Coppin.
And it appears as if Howard is starting in a wide 2-3 zone.
Three ball, no good.
And that was really no good.
Here's Elijah Hawkins, Rookie of the Year. Here's Elijah Hawkins in the lane, gives off to Brumont. Brumont across the lane for 2.
Nice ball fake that time by Brumont.
As you look at the Coppin State starting lineup with Tark, Cardassi, Rojas, Conte, who jumps center, and Zarazuela. Inside, and an easy basket that time for Nenda Tark, redshirt freshman out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Tell you what, he took the ball to the rim strong that time.
They're going to call the travel before the ball left the hands of Elijah Hawkins. Great point guard, freshman, but sometimes he does too much.
Yes, as you see the replay, strong rim attack that time by Tark. But you're right, Hawkins has got a bright future, but he's got to be able to make the right decisions 90% of the time. Sometimes he tries to do just a little bit too much.
Turn around by Conte, no good.
This Coppin is opening up in man-to-man, a switching man on the perimeter. Switching all pin downs.
This is Mr. Bibbs. It's good. 4-0 Howard.
As the Eagles forgot to communicate that time, and they left Bibbs wide open at the free throw line. The Eagles want to play fast. This zone is holding them, slowing them up a little bit. They really want to play fast.
Settles with the steal for Howard University, ahead to Bibbs. He'll back it back out, looking for Foster from the corner. Off, no good.
And that's what he does.
Yes, he does. He's been a great addition to this Howard University team. This one in and out, and Bibbs with the rebound.
Rojas with the deep 3. Was kind of leaning that time. Didn't have good balance.
4-0 Howard University. 4-2, I should say, Howard University. This is Bibbs. He'll take the 3, the deep 3 off the mark. Tapped over and saved. Here's Hawkins.
And the official is going to say that Settle stepped on the line.
And so the whistle blown, stops play, and now Coppin State will take over.
Now Howard has come out of the zone and shown a little full court man pressure. Now dropping back to the 2-3. Good defensive strategy by Coach Blakeney.
Nice runner, and that falls down for Nathaniel Stokes. This is the only team that seemingly had Howard's number in the conference this year. Blocked from behind. Conte, and a steal, turnover, taken away from Brumont. That looked like a travel there for Zarazuela.
Cerula, I tell you what, he had no shame in his game that time. He let that bad boy ride 2 steps across from the MEAC logo.
Foster, shot too hard. The rebound by Tark. Oswella. Bounce pass down. There's Conte. All the way across to Tark. There he goes again. He makes it this time.
I tell you what, he says, I'm going to show you broadcasters. This is what I do.
Well, this is the thing that when you look at the box score from when these two teams played the last time, and you look at the three-point shooting, 15 of 28 for Coppin State. Howard was 11 of 35. So they did a better job of hitting and converting those threes.
Coppin has attempted 837 threes, shooting 29% from the three-point line. They shoot three-point shots. That's their game. And if they're making them like that, they could be trouble.
And that's the key. Gadassi. And he's one of them for a year at UDC before they won just 3 games. He said, let me get out of here. He was an assistant at Maryland under Coach Turgeon.
Right.
Played at Maryland, led them to the 2002 national title. And he is still the school's all-time leading scorer, over 2,200 points, 2269 to be exact.
I tell you what, he has an offensive mind. He understands the game, and they do a lot of free-flowing type things on the offense. You think there's no structure when there actually is. There's a method to the madness offensively by the Coppin State Eagles.
This is a team, this Coppin State team, you're talking about them, and they struggle at the start of the season. There's a turnover by Foster, creating it. Gets it over to Hawkins.
Great hands that time. Great anticipation by Kyle Foster.
Settle, Hawkins. Howard's got to remember, this is a team that beat them twice during the regular season, and Hawkins put up an air ball that time for Howard University. Tark. Gadassi. Shot clock at 10. Down the lane, Conte wide open, and we got a foul.
Good defensive positioning that time by Sam Green. Stood it in. There's the replay right there. Watch, steps, gets outside the defensive perimeter circle, where anything inside of that circle would be considered a block. And he was 2 steps out. Good defense that last time by Sam Green.
So Mike Hood will check in. There he is. Redshirt junior from Kansas City, Missouri. Started his career at Montana State. And he'll come in and replace Justin Steers, who just picked up his foul.
Nice little cut that time. Little slice cut.
Good hands by Gadassi to knock that one away. Here's Tark for 2.
Oh, big time move, young fella. Nice little Euro step with his foot, with his feet. Attack the rim.
This Coppin State team started the season 0-5. All road games. They lost to Loyola of Chicago. They lost at DePaul. They lost at Rider. They lost at UConn. And they lost at UNC Greensboro.
See, that's what I call at the mid-major level the business of basketball. Okay. He's making money for his program. And, you know, I used to always tell athletic directors, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to make some money, so don't judge me on that. Judge me when we get to the MEAC play. I made you $100 grand.
Yeah, or more.
Or more, right.
Yeah. And then they came home, beat Loyola of Maryland, and they beat them 71-49. Then they went on the road again. Gadassi, good for 3. He can hit it. 15-7.
Right now, the Eagles are shooting 60% from the 3 line.
Bryce Harris is in there also right now. Travelers at Turner Hall. Howard University turning the ball over. They came in. That is the Bisons averaging 14 turnovers a contest.
As you see on the replay, nice ball movement by the Eagles and Gadassi. Can the three-pointer from deep corner.
Zaswella back out to Tark. Tark the dish. Kardassi. And he is fouled. He's going to the line for 3.
Great effort that time by Cal Foster, but you've got to be able to go straight up and down when you're challenging the three-point shot and not lean. Any type of contact, and you're going to create a foul situation. You don't want Kardassi, who's an excellent free throw shooter, comes into this ball game shooting right at 68%.
Yeah. And more importantly, he's ranked 4th in the conference in threes made per game, averaging almost 2 per contest.
And you would expect a guy that shoots that well from the three-point line to be shooting higher from the free throw line.
Yeah, but that's free. You know,
he likes to make him long distance.
Yeah, he wants to work for it.
Yeah, like I said, chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah, it's only 67% free throw shooter. As you look at Ty Bibbs. We talked about the fact that they went on the road after that win over Loyola of Maryland. They played at Virginia. They played at Cleveland State, at Canisius, at East Carolina, at St. Bonaventure, at Cornell, at GW. I mean, there's that money.
Hey, I told you, the business of basketball.
Bring the money in. Hawkins, player control foul.
And right now, the Eagles have quietly built an 11-point lead, 18-7 on the 3-ball, shooting right now 60% from the field and 60% from the 3-line. Excellent offensive performance so far by the Coppin Eagles.
Well, we talk about the first time these two teams met over in Baltimore. They were down, that is Coppin State, by 26 points and came back and won that game.
Oh, nice pass.
And score the basket. And that'll be Justin Steers picking it up and going to the line, trying to complete the three-point play.
Nice synergy that time between Tark and Steers.
Tark with the pass inside. Free throw is not complete. But more importantly, it's a 13-point lead for the Eagles of Coppin State. 3-ball is off the mark for Howard University. Sam Green, Bibbs inside. Green with the tip, and it's in.
That's the way to stay after it as far as Sam Green is concerned. If at first you don't succeed, try again, and that's what Sam Green did.
Hawkins. Like the Energizer Bunny, isn't it?
Yep, I tell you. Got to be under control.
Bibbs with the steal over to Hawkins. Hawkins back over to Bibbs.
Here, John Spencer, they really backing this program now.
Well, all they needed was somebody to come in and make him feel good.
Right.
And he's done that. A little Euro step there. And we're going to stay here.
Right.
The foul is going to be whistled against Sam Green.
And you can see the confidence that the Eagles are playing with. They're getting the loose balls, the 50-50 balls. I used to always say that hustle was a talent.
Brumont checks back in for Sam Green. The 3-ball off the mark. Coming off of the hand of Mike Hood.
And again, they're going to put him up. They're not bashful about taking the 3-ball.
A little baseline pass from Hawkins. He does see the floor very well. There's Brumont, Randall Brumont. Offensive board by Brumont. Off the glass for 2.
Nice two-handed rebound by Brumont off the miss by Foster. Bisons that cut the lead down to single digits.
We're talking about Kyle Foster. He was the last of the players that were brought into this program by Kevin Nickelberry. So, again, The only one left from Kevin Nickelberry's era.
And I saw Coach Nickelberry. He's now an assistant at LSU.
Was Kyle Foster, first team all-conference, led the conference in three-point percentage.
One of the tops in the country at 46% from the three line.
Bibbs working against Spurlock. Back out to Hawkins. He'll take the three, and it is no good. Defensive rebound by Steers.
Nice two-handed rebound out of his area by Steers that time.
9-point game. Gizzarella in and out. Settles with the rebound for the Bison. Settle loses it. Unforced error again. Another turnover for Howard University. And that is their 8th early on in this contest.
And Sellers is a young man.
It's an offensive foul.
Who grew, exactly, who has guard skills now at 6'10", because he grew. And he was originally was a guard. Now he's a point forward, so to speak, at 6'10".
Yeah.
Needs to just get stronger.
But has the game of basketball, you know, you can remember, especially when you were coaching at Howard as an assistant under A.B. Williamson, you know, big man was premium.
Right.
And now it's a guards game, isn't it?
Right.
Bibbs settles.
And all the bigs think they're guards.
Or want to be.
Right. Got to catch the ball with two hands.
After all of that, a turnover, and Al Foster couldn't handle it.
Because he put one hand out there. You got to be fundamentally sound, especially in the tournament, survive and advance. Every possession is critical. You put two hands on that ball, and Foster probably would have caught it.
Khalil Robinson checks in for Howard University, junior out of Columbia, South Carolina. Elijah Hawkins will go to the sideline.
Bison showing a little pressure now.
Howard University came into the tournament with that little kiss off the glass that time, and that was Mike Hood. They came into the tournament with a record of 16-12, 9-5 as far as conference play is concerned, and Foster finally gets his first win.
And that's a good sign for the Bison to see one go down for Cal Foster from long range.
And before that shot, Foster was 1 of 3 from three-point range, 1 of 4 overall, and settles with the defensive board. And here come the Bison.
And I would go right back to Foster.
This will be settled. He can hit the three. That's short. Foul placed by a young man by the name of Khalil Robinson.
Right.
Even though he has played, he has the ball right now. He's played a lot this year.
Right, he's played a lot. At this point in time, he's got to recognize, let's go back to Foster.
They're doing a good job guarding Foster. This one goes in and out for Robinson. Khalil Robinson couldn't get that one to go.
Hood's doing an excellent job off the bench. Nice little show and go that time by Mike Hood.
Bibbs. Bibbs. What is the offense that Howard's running right now?
Their offense is out of sync, and give a lot of credit to the switching man-to-man defense that the Coppin State Eagles are utilizing.
Hood with the ball. He's bringing it up the floor for Juan Dixon's squad. And we're going to get a foul. It's going to go against Coppin State.
Zanzuela.
When these two teams played earlier in the year, the first time they played was January 24th in Baltimore at the Physical Education Complex. And it was just a 2-point win by Coppin. But again, remember, they were down by 26 points. And the halftime score was Howard was up by 9, 50-41.
I tell you what, that gives the Coppin State Eagles the confidence coming into this tournament game that we can play with Howard. Regardless, we throw the records out, but we realize in our minds that we are 2-0 against Howard. That was a nice little baseline cut by Bibbs. Nice little pocket pass by Hawkins. Gets Bibbs to the line.
And in the second meeting, Coppin led by 6. This was at the Burr Gymnasium. This was at Burr Gymnasium in Washington, D.C. And when they played, it was 37-31. Coppin State was up by 6 at the time. Howard outscored them by 2 in the second half, but the final score was 86-82. Coppin coming out on top. And looking to see if there's a flagrant foul.
Right. And again, this is an opportunity for both coaches to take advantage of an uncalled timeout. Utilize this time, if you're Coppin State, to talk about some things that they are not doing well, which one is rebounding. And if you're Howard, talk about making sure that you're contesting the 3-ball, because right now you're allowing the Eagles to shoot over 40% from the 3 line. And you got Bibbs going to the line right now for 2.
So now you look at what Howard did to start the season. They started 3-0. They went up to Villanova, and they only lost by 19 points. I mean, they lost, but still, if you won 119, they still lost.
Right.
But still, they played.
But they played well, right?
They played Villanova tough. 100-81 was the final score there. I think the biggest disappointment in their loss was they lost to High Point. Although we know who's coaching at High Point.
Right.
Tubby's coaching at High Point, but still, they lost to High Point. They played Notre Dame very tough.
Right. That was a great game. I watched that game on television, and
they only lost by 3.
Right. It was a great performance by the Bison.
Foul. A little slow on the whistle there, but it was.
I tell you what, that was a nice head and shoulder fake by Justin Steers. Got Brumont in the air. Now he gets a chance to go to the line for 2 shots. There you see the fake. That's textbook right there as far as showing the ball, showing your head fake, getting your defender up in the air and then attacking right through his chin.
And we keep talking about how close these games have been. 4 of the conference losses that Howard suffered this year were by a total of 12 points. So again, that's 3 points a game.
I tell you what, this.
Would you rather lose by 20 or lose by 1?
Well,
you don't want to lose by any.
That's what
I guess I'm saying is, if you lose by a little bit, you figure you could have won that.
Yeah.
If you get beat up by 19, 20 points, right. You say it just wasn't our night.
It's a bad night, yeah. But I tell you what, those close losses, as a coach, you can't sleep on those, because we would have done.
Yeah.
Right,
that's could we have done better.
Exactly.
10-point game, 26-16. Hawkins back in the lineup. Touched by the defender. Crowd didn't like it. And there's a turnover.
So those are the kind of plays that you were talking about from Hawkins that
from the corner, in and out. Foster with the rebound. Into the front court goes Hawkins. Bibbs pulls up for the 3, in and out. Settles trying. Here's Bibbs again. Nice floater. Too hard.
And the Bison are attacking that offensive glass really well. Tough play that time by Tark.
And he kept the ball alive on his end. Hawkins with the ball. Bodies flying everywhere.
Fast and furious right now. Not much happening, but it's fast and furious.
Like Pac-Man, aren't they? Yeah. Brumont trying to do the reverse. Block from behind, a whistle will be blown. And he's going to shoot 2. Randall Brumont.
That was a good ball fake that time. Kept his balance, good footwork. Gets a chance to go to the line. 1 for 2 so far tonight from the free throw line.
Couple of substitutions coming into the Howard lineup. The one is Devin Richmond, and he'll come in and replace Bibbs. Also standing at the scorer's table is Sam Green. He's coming in for the shooter. Right now, that's Randall Brumont.
And Brumont has done an outstanding job so far. Got 8 points, 3 for 3 from the field, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, and 4 rebounds.
Coppin State is led by as many as 13 points in this contest, 20-7. Howard's biggest lead was 2. And that's when they led 4-2. So that's 18 fouls against Coppin, only 5 against Howard. So Coppin has not done a very good job of not fouling this Howard team. But when you look at people and you look at their roster, for Coppin State rather, we're talking about people who have fouled out of games. Steers has fouled out this year. Tark has not. Cardesi has fouled out of 2 games so far this season. Corbett fouled out of 1. Reggie James 1, and Zarzuela has fouled out of 1 game. So those are the types of things that you try to keep players in the ball game and not to create stupid and senseless fouls.
And right now, the Eagles are creating a situation from the, as far as fouls are concerned, they've been just being a little bit undisciplined. As far as you got to play hard, but you got to play smart, and you got to play without fouling.
6-point ball game. Coppin is led by as many as 13.
Is the Howard Bison chopping wood?
Yeah,
cutting that lead.
That's all you need to do.
Yep.
Oaks is in the lineup now for Juan Dixon's squad. Cardesi. Here's Tate. Then to Tate. 10 seconds. Tark, rather. Then to Tark. That almost was a travel. A throwaway. It is a turnover, Stokes.
Good defensive sequence that time by the Bison. They were talking, they were communicating, they were switching, and the Eagles looked out of sync that time.
One of the things you always say, can you beat a team 3 times in a season? And how hard it is in your experience.
That's hard.
You know, when you come to tournament time and things of this nature, you always come in saying, I didn't beat you at all. This is my time.
Right, exactly.
Here's Hawkins, shot clock at 10. Foster. He's looking for a spot. Pulls up. No good. Follow, no good. And it'll be
and I used to always say, Charlie, if we beat a team 3 times, or if a team beat one of my teams 3 times, they were just better than us. You know, when you beat a team 3 times, you got their number. For that particular year, they were the better team.
But when you look at the other team's record, you know, you always say they weren't better than us. They just were better than us. That 4 minutes to go. Hawkins at the line. Trying to make it a 4-point game, and he does. Makes a pair of free throws, 26-22. And again, if Howard protects the basketball, they may do okay. In terms of turnovers, they have 12 in the contest to 8 for Coppin State. Conte, too hard. Settles rebound for Howard.
And again, that's the Coppin having no conscience as far as 3-point shooting is concerned. That last shot that Conte took.
I want you to analyze the offense now for Howard.
Okay, I'm going to let you know. Side ball screen, clear out, and triples on the weak side. That's what that was. That was a set play that they ran pretty well. They ran a side ball screen with Hawkins, and they put 3 shooters on the opposite side.
Wide open, Tark for 2.
They got to get back in transition defense due to Bison. That was a nice, easy bucket for Coppin. They really needed something like that to break their, to get their offensive rhythm going again.
Under 3 minutes to go in the half. Foster pull up. Jumper good. That's a 2.
And that's what he needs to see go in. He could be the guy that changed the dynamics of this game in the second half.
28-24. When you talk about that young man, Kyle Foster, his season high was 27. And he did that 3 times this season. He did it against North Carolina Central. He did it against Delaware State. He had 27 against Coppin.
Right. That was an ill-advised turnover that last time for the Bison. Nice pass by Tark.
All
excellent pass.
And advised.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody intentionally turns the ball over, but that was a great basket that time and a finish by Alex Rojas.
Running the floor that time did Rojas, and Tark saw him, gave it up. A penetrating pass, caught it and finished at the rim.
Under 2 minutes to go before the break. Foster, jumper, short, settles, offensive rebound, and he's fouled. And they're going to call a shot clock violation.
That's what Everett Summers called. I think he put his head on the top of his he's meeting right now with his officials.
No, I'm not sure about that. Well, he's staying with it.
Shot clock violation. Coppin ball.
It didn't touch the rim.
He didn't?
The long shot didn't touch the rim. That's what he called. That was the violation.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. Conte, echo to Zarzuela. Baseline, stepped on the line. Cardesi.
That's the ninth turnover by the Eagles. Bison have 15. And again, the Bison have done an excellent job on the glass, but their offensive rhythm just has not been there because of the switching man-to-man defense that the Coppin State Eagles are utilizing.
So in the first meeting, it was Kyle Foster, 19 points, 4 of 7 from 3. In the second meeting, Foster had 27 points. He was 6 of 13 from 3.
And he's a long way from that tonight so far. Only 5 points with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half.
Settles. Hawkins. Cordesi pulls up for the 3. Back of the iron, no good. Great offensive rebound. Big offensive rebound by Rojas. No good. Tark going in against Hawkins. No good. Settles everything down.
Hey, that's it. Good call, because we had some fast and furious action with not a whole lot of results.
And again, the lid has been on the basket for the Bison today, more so than normal. They are 7 of 30 from the field. That means they've missed 23 shots. And not even talking about threes. That's
right, just shots. Yeah, right. 23% from the field. And a lot of it has to do with the switching defense, man-to-man, that the Coppin State Eagles are employing.
Trying for the... That goes off the hands, and that's going to be a shot clock violation, 2.2.
If I'm coaching, I'm putting somebody on the ball.
Long pass. Knocked away. That's going to be it. No good.
Illinois.
And now you see a different type of offense that Howard seems to be running it.
Running 4 out and 1 in motion. Ball screen. Little bit remnants of the Princeton set. Nice back cut. Great cut that time. Good set out of the start the second half.
And that looked like something that you could describe.
I could analyze that. Make me look good. Thank you, Coach Blakeney.
4-point ball game right now with The second half just getting started here is Zarella. And it gets the roll.
Zarella, who is certainly doesn't have any conscience about letting it ride. Howard needs to go back to that motion, Princeton-style offense.
Here we go. Settle. Tried to get it down low to Brumont. On the line, and it'd be out of bounds, and Howard will retain possession as Alex Rojas couldn't control. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Hawkins puts it in, puts it up, and it doesn't go. Rebound cleared by Nenda Tark.
Tark has been relatively quiet. Well, just as I say, there you go. I talked him up.
The left-hander. He puts it down, and it's a 35-26. Howard University trailing in this one. Pass to Brumont. He couldn't handle it.
You got to catch it first, young man.
Tark, corner. Cardacci passes it back out. Zarella down the lane. Pulls up for the short jumper, and he's fouled. And they're going to call a player control foul on Cardacci. A correction.
Now, Zarella. I think he kicked his leg out, maybe?
Yep.
Yep, that's what the official. Yep.
Juan Dixon is not happy with it. But it doesn't matter.
No, really.
Let's watch.
Yep, he kicked his leg out. And you can't do that. It's just that simple.
Hawkins seemingly slowed down a little bit here in the second half. Not as like helter-skelter.
Out of control as he was in the first half. That's something that I'm sure the coaching staff addressed.
Settle's got to do a better job. He's a good shooter.
Right.
He can't be missing the whole rim. From the corner. And that one doesn't fall that time for Rojas. Rojas out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
And I tell you, the Coppin State Eagles, they have the green light on offense, and sometimes some of the shots they take in my opinion, are ill-advised, but obviously their offensive scheme allows them to do that.
Hawkins backs it back out. Our halftime score was 30-24. Settles tried the offensive rebound.
And that's just strength that last time. That if you're stronger, then Settles is going to get that rebound. He needs to live in the weight room this spring.
Got good size for himself. Settles at 6'10", redshirt sophomore. So we're going to go back the other way. Howard maintaining possession.
Team second. Into the game for the Bisons, number 34, Dwight Allen. And in for the Eagles, number 2, Mike Drew.
And that's the fourth foul now on Zarella. He has to come out of the game.
He's only fouled out one previous game this season. That happened against Norfolk State. But he can score. He put up 27 against St. Bonaventure during the regular season. Kyle Foster, they've held him in pretty much in check, haven't they?
No joke.
Well, he puts one up. That one is back in the iron. Offensive rebound. Yeah, I don't know why the young man who grabbed that rebound, that was Bryce Harris, didn't push the ball back out. It was a lot of defenders standing under that basket. He was determined he's going to put it up.
And here's the replay right here.
He gets the rebound. You got more people. You got
maybe make that
Elijah Hawkins
right
way over in the corner.
Bounce, weak side pass. Yeah. Definitely. He's at the line. Let's see what he does. First time at the line, and he misses the first one. Again, this is a critical period, and so far I'd say Coppin has won this period because they've increased the lead from 30 to 24 to 35-26.
So Bryce Harris, freshman out of Brentwood, New York, missed both free throws. What, did they have a violation?
I think he must have stepped in the line a little too quick. That's a big break for the Bison.
But you got to hit the free throw.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a big break if you don't hit the free throw.
Big break.
There you go. now we can talk about big break.
Number 1, Justin Steers.
So Justin Steers back into the lineup out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for Juan Dixon's team. He replaces Conte. Conte started the game and played some quality minutes for Coppin State tonight. 19 minutes to be exact. Tart, the left-hander, the three, way off the mark. Hawkins coming down with it. Hawkins off the glass for two.
Nice offhanded layup that time by Hawkins.
All the way down the lane for 2.
6-point ball game right now. Here's Tark backing it out. Tark bothered by the defender, Ty Bibbs. Here's Kyle Foster inside. I like the patience that Hawkins is showing here in the second half. The Eagles.
Nice little pressure that time put on by the Bison.
Tark. Nice, easy layup down low that time for Justin Steers out of Philadelphia.
And it was all ignited by Mike Hood.
Hawkins tried to get it down to nice feed down the lane, put it up, and it's good for Bryce Harris.
That's good basketball, textbook offense as Hood playing without the ball, moving. And was the recipient of a nice pass because he was moving without the ball. Still a 6-point margin.
Howard hasn't seemingly done anything to help themselves in these droughts that Coppin State has had. And Hawkins, that was one of those things where he just went in there out of control.
Out of control, right.
Short. Rebound by Harris. When I officiated, people would do that, and I'd say, I'm not going to bail you out.
Right. You looking for the bailout. Don't look at me. I'm not the one. Took that bad shot.
Kyle Foster. Three is good.
Three-pointer, number 11.
Good looking stroke that time by Foster, moving without the ball. They found him in rhythm, stepped up and knocked it down.
That's what we're saying. Howard helping themselves. Now the lead is 3 by Coppin State. Pull-up jumper. That is short. From Steers.
I would go right back to Foster.
Well, he's over there waiting.
Right.
Goes around Cardacey. Down low. And looked like a travel underneath. It was.
Yeah. The officiating days picked it up.
Those are the type of errors that are unforced and should not be happening.
Right. Every possession in tournament play is so critical.
Steers gives off to Tark. Back to Tark. Back to Steers. There's Tark, and he puts it up with the left hand.
Tough play that time on the offensive end by Tark.
Foster. In and out. Oh, he had it. It was in, but it came back out.
I tell you what, You can't shoot it any better than that one. It went all the way down in and came back out.
Rattled.
Yep.
So we're seeing
And for the Eagles, number 13, Alex Rojas.
Brumont taking a rest right now for Howard University, and Sam Green checking in right now. There's Brumont on the sideline.
Green did an excellent job for him off the bench in the first half. Deserves some more playing time this half.
Strong move by Steers. And the lead is up to 7. Remember, Howard University had cut it to 3. And there's Tark putting his hand in there. Shows why he got the honors that he received this year. Mr. Tark, his brother was the player of the year in the conference a year ago.
He really plays, got a steady, even kill type of game, doesn't do anything out of control, plays within himself, and he's also an outstanding rebounder.
Yeah, his brother Anthony was the player of the year. And again, we talk about there's Hawkins finally getting something positive happening right now.
Nice little baseline drive, little snake move. Got pushed, you see it right here, off the handoff, jumps into the, creates the contact, gets the foul.
Picking up the foul was Mike Hood out of Kansas City, Kansas. So there he is, Elijah Hawkins. 6 points, 2 for 2 at the line so far tonight. He is a 70% free throw shooter, and that one's short. But an offensive rebound, still couldn't get it, but run down on the far side. Hawkins back outside, settle. Back to Hawkins, he'll take the 3 again, that's off.
Tough break that time for the Bison. They hustled, they got the offensive rebound, got a wide open shot by Hawkins, just couldn't knock it down. The one thing that, as you read off of Hawkins' stats, that those 8 turnovers really stand out. Because at 5'8", 9", he's got 4 rebounds, so he's in there battling with the big boys.
Yeah.
Laser stroke that time by Mike Hood.
44-36. 8-point game. Hawkins baseline. Needs to find some help. And the basket goes down for Bryce Harris.
And Harris is doing a good job off the bench. He's got 8 rebounds.
And he has some points.
And 7 points.
And he's keeping his team close.
He's using that big body.
Have to use what you have, right? Mike Hood working against Kyle Foster. Correction, working against Devin Richmond. Shot clock at 2. 3 ball falls. Alex Rojas.
2 big threes right now in a row for the Coppin State Eagles.
Remember, it was a 3-point game not long ago. It's been a 10-4 run for Coppin State. And at least you don't have to worry about who wins and loses.
I win every game over here, okay? I'm undefeated.
Nice looking shot that time off the hands of Bryce Harris. And he's a freshman.
And he's done an outstanding job tonight so far. 8 points now and 9 rebounds. That's why he's getting the minutes. He's got 8 minutes, and he's doing an outstanding job. Bryce Harris, young man from Brentwood, New York.
A little subtle half-court pressure by Howard University. No problem with Coppin getting it into the front court. Tark, the left-hander, puts it on the floor, drives down the lane, puts up the shot, and it's short.
Pretty good overall team defense that last time by the Bison. Big possession right here.
Every possession is big. They haven't had any lead for a while.
Howard running their version of the Princeton offense.
Shot clock under 8. Hawkins pulls up for the 3. No good. And it's interesting, you ever watch Coach Blakeney, never seen him get upset on the sideline. He's very cool, very calm, collected. He doesn't say much to the officials. You know, he let them do their job because he knows once they blow the whistle, it ain't going to change it.
Right, right. That's so true. Some coaches spend a lot of wasted energy.
Did you ever get any technical fouls?
Not many. Not
no,
many.
no. Oh, you got some?
Yeah, I've got 1 or 2, but not many.
Back of the iron, no good. And Harris with the rebound for Howard University. Here's Hawkins again. Under 10 minutes to go. Hawkins looking for a screen. Pulls up behind the screen by.
And they're daring Hawkins to shoot right now. Backing off, taking away the dribble penetration.
Cardacey working against Hawkins. Knocked away. Here's Cardacey with it again. Shot clock under 10. Lazuela short. Here's Kyle Foster. He's been quiet. Hasn't done much here. Here's Foster now. We know he can shoot. And he's gotten down to the baseline. Back out to Hawkins. Settle. Hawkins. Reverse layup. Too much. And they're going to call a foul in the backcourt.
And as much as we were praising Hawkins early on, how he kind of controlled his game over the last 4 minutes, he's kind of got back into being a little bit out of control.
You revert back to what you know. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Because right now he's trying things that are, you know, just not resulting in positive results. Utilizing 2-point guards now. You got Robinson in the ball game and Hawkins.
Settles, puts it up. Went straight up. It's Settle. He'll pull up for the 3. Good.
Big basket.
4-point game. It's been a 5-0 run since they were down by 9. Cardacey, though he
has been very steady for the Eagles, hitting big threes.
8 minutes to go. Settles, layup for 2. Settles off the glass. Points and 6 rebounds, so he's right on schedule for what he's been doing against this Eagles team.
Tell you what, a young man with 6'10" guard skills, grew, but developed guard skills before he grew, and now he still has those skills. So he's having an outstanding game. Been the key to the comeback by the Bison.
There he is. Goes in too hard. He gets the offensive board put back and 2. And he gave him the mean green look, didn't he?
Tell you
what, 1-point game.
We have a ball game, Charlie.
And a foul is going to be whistled against Khalil Robinson. But that's just the 3rd team foul against Howard.
There's a strong move, as you see, by Steve Settles III, and he let the Coppin player know.
Yeah. That could have been a little taunting there.
Yeah, you better be careful. You don't want to do anything. An
11-3 run and a moving screen. An 11-3 run by Howard right now. They have not led since they were leading, that is Howard, 4-2 early in the contest, like with less than 2 minutes to go. I mean, had gone by in the contest. Kyle Foster. Back out to settle. Give it to him. He's hot. It's off.
That's a good set. Ride that horse.
Why not? He's saddled.
Right.
Down the lane. Cardesi. No. Settle. Rebound.
He's doing it all right now for the Bison.
Why not? Down the lane. And he's going to the line.
Got a chance to put the Bison ahead with 2 free throws.
Steve Settle, the third out of Glen Arden, Maryland. Went to DeMatha High, sports management major. And he's put this team on his back today. And he's going to go to the free throw line as the foul is picked up by Justin Steers.
Nice little replay that time. Settle getting to the rim. 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah, he's at the free throw line right now. He's a 76% free throw shooter. The season high was 25. That came against Notre Dame at Bison Stadium at the Bird Gymnasium. He has 13 points in this contest, trying to make it 15. And he ties the score. 6:23 remaining.
Now it's the team. We have a new ball game. It's the team that can show the most poise and patience.
Missed the second one. We're still tied at 50 apiece. But again, it's been a trend tonight. But he has 14 points to lead. His team actually leads all scorers in this contest with 14 points. The next closest person in scoring is Cardesi with Coppin State, who gets the offensive rebound.
And that's the one thing when a team takes a lot of threes, you have to get the long rebounds because the ball normally bounces long.
And that's been the theme of the day for this Coppin State team. They've done a great job in three-point shooting all season long, especially against Howard, the two games that they played. Here's Hawkins. Needs to settle it down. There he goes along the baseline. See what kind of offense they have. There's Settle. Back out. Hawkins will take the three. Off the mark. Good block out that time by Conti.
Great block out. Great block out that time by Conti.
Down at the 5-minute mark. Winner goes on to play in the semifinals. Here's Conti with the three. No good. Hawkins with the rebound. That missed everything. Hit the backboard, but didn't hit the rim. Back out. It'll stay on this end.
As Foster just didn't catch it, slipped, had the oopsies that time.
Yeah, it was either that or he looked like maybe he wanted to pass it back to Hawkins. But either way, Howard got lucky and they're retaining possession. He has it. That is Cardesi on him right now. Down low. He was trying to feed it into Brumont, and a foul is going to be whistled against Brumont.
Now a foul is on number 20, Randall Drummond.
Coach Dixon is trying to get the intentional. If that was in the NBA, that would have been what you call a clear path.
Clear path.
But this
There's
college,
no such thing as clear path in the college
it's
basketball.
college game. So the Eagles will get it out on the sideline.
And you had to be really sure that there was no defensive player in front of you.
Right.
So it's been a while that Coppin State's been stuck on 50. Their last field goal was at the 8:16 mark. Cardesi measures, puts it up, good.
He's been the answer for the Coppin State Eagles, says Cardesi. Big basket that time. Put the Eagles back up by 3.
15 points for Cardesi.
Yeah, he's been the offensive answer tonight.
In and out, it rims.
Good look that time by Robinson.
Yeah. Just did not fall
Just
for
didn't
him.
fall. You're right.
So that field goal by Cardesi was a long time coming. Been almost 5 minutes since Coppin had a field goal, and it allowed Howard to get back into this contest and tie the game. This time,
see, that's what I don't understand.
Didn't need it.
You did. Cardesi just made a three. Go back to him.
Mike Hood was on that shot. Here's Hawkins, no good. His shot was off. There's Nasrallah down the lane. Passes over. Cardesi back out to Tark. Tark. Offensive foul.
Good defensive position that time by Bruma.
Trying to get to the semifinals of this year's MEAC basketball tournament. Howard University has trailed most of this game, tied it up just a little while ago, but Cardesi hit that three to give the Eagles a 3-point advantage. Down the baseline goes Settle. Puts it up, no good. Here's Bibbs. It bounces around. Still loose.
Whoa, that's tough right there.
Ante comes out with it. A lot of bounces on the offensive side for Howard University. It just didn't want to stay down.
The lid was on that basket that time for the Bison.
Ante trying to set the screen for Nasrallah. He goes in and he's bumped by Bibbs, and he'll go to the line for two.
And he hasn't been to the line all night tonight. Big free throws. He's getting two. Could make this a two-possession game for the Eagles.
Well, he's a 76% free throw shooter. That is a young man out of Houston, Texas. Springwoods High is where he hailed from. He's a freshman. Drops it down.
At the shooter's bounce that time.
Nice and easy.
Jesse Zazuela.
Misses the second, and it's a 4-point game. Coppin State trying to make it 3 in a row over Howard this season, and Hawkins goes in.
Nice straight line drive that time by Hawkins. Saw the lane open, attacked, got to the rim.
Under 2 minutes to go. 150 to be exact. Coppin with the lead by 2. Up too hard on a foul is going to be whistled, and we're going to be shooting 2.
And right now, Coppin appears to be going to what you call a dribble drive offensive set. If you got your guy, you're trying to penetrate, create some contact, spot up shooters. And here's the replay right there. You see him created the contact. Did Settle.
Yeah, and Hood is at the line right now.
Yeah. And he missed. The line is not being their friend right now.
One shot coming for Mr. Hood, an 80% free throw shooter. Out of Kansas City, went to Shawnee Mission West High School there. Minute 44 to go. Second one does roll through. 3-point game, 55-52. With Kyle Foster on the floor, anything is possible. Settle has been shooting well also from downtown. Kyle Foster trying to set up. Cardesi won't let him do that. Went on the line, it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be Howard University with 15 seconds retaining the ball. 15 on the shot clock, that is. A minute 28 on the game clock. 55-52. Into Brumont, back to Hawkins. Hawkins spinning in the lane. Tried to get it off to hands of Settle, who was crossing the baseline, but a little too hard, and Settle couldn't handle the pass.
Yeah, you got to settle down a little bit. Again, Hawkins has good intentions, but sometimes the play is maybe ill-advised.
So Brumont goes to the bench right now.
They want quickness in there, defensive quickness.
So they brought in Devin Richmond for that purpose. Brumont sits down to 1:08 to go. 3-point lead. Coppin State looking to make it 3 in a row. Foster with the rebound. Ahead to Hawkins. Hawkins going in. Out of control. Again.
He got
a foul.
He got to break that time.
So Conte picks up the foul. And we're still shooting 1 and 1.
Right.
That is Howard. That is only the 9th team foul against Coppin.
They're saying he was shooting. He's getting 2 shots.
No, I see. They're saying.
Oh, is that one? Okay, one. I saw that. Yeah.
1 and 1. Foul before the shot. That looked good.
Big free throws that time. He's 3 for 4 now.
This one could make it a 1-point game. It's now 2. 55-53. 55 seconds the time remaining. Makes them both.
If you can get
a defensive rebound.
There you go. 5 to the glass.
Inbound pass comes in.
Don't have to go for a steal. Just play without fouling.
Ball is in the front court for Coppin State. Hawkins guarding. Zarella all the way back out the hood. Tark against the.
There he is in the first trap.
Almost, and we get a foul. And that's going to be recently.
Yeah, 4 for 5.
He has 4 for 5
over the last.
He's 4 for 5 at the line tonight. This could give his team, if he makes them both, a 1-point lead. But it was off his hand.
It was good.
It was off his hand.
It was on.
Officials are checking again. They want to be sure. Well, the basket was definitely good.
Right.
But there's nobody even near
the
basket.
I don't know what play. He can move.
Dispute the play of Mr. Tark. Tark